Alright, so we finished wiring it up. It was actually easier than we thought. What we did was there's an inner, middle, and an outer, basically joint, basically the servos, and they're labeled. So the picture points to which ones you're going to be pointing to, and then there's in the previous step it tells you basically where the inner joints go plugged into, the middle and the outer ones. So this is what it looks like after you're done. And you can see there are a lot of cables. So try to be good about your cable management. We actually went through a couple tries to get the cable management just right to make sure, the key thing is to make sure that the cables are loose enough such that all of the limbs can easily move. Again, take note, underneath, everything is easily movable. I'm not really forcing anything. All the wires are flexible enough to give me this, the motion that I need. So now we're moving on to the next step, which is basically installing the sonar module. So in this step, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up this other servo that we have here. This servo, remember, in the beginning of our presentation or of our review of this product, we said, hey, it's separate. I don't know why, but we're going to leave it there on the side. Well, it looks like we're going to be using this for the sonar. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and again, we have some servo pieces there that are going to be mounted to the actual servo. And here we have it. So this is a little bit different. This is not sure what servo this is. Never seen it before. A GWS servo. Looks like those, like the other servos, except it's not metal. It's plastic case all around. So. Not too bad. Now, according to this picture, we're going to have to mount the circular module onto the servo rather than any of the other pieces. Now, don't be shy or don't be scared if you have leftover pieces in your servo pack, because every servo comes with a set of things, and you don't have to use all of them. Again, I'm going to use the same methodology that I used before, where I'm going to mount this and kind of just check to make sure, kind of eyeball it. Okay, let's see, that way. Okay, so that's more or less right. It's not perfect, doesn't have to be, but it's good enough for me. And the next step is we're going to have to actually screw this sucker in. So which one of these? I think I'm going to go with one of these longer ones to see what happens. There's a short one in there. Not sure if that's going to be it or not, but let's try this one here first and see how well that works. If that doesn't work out, we'll go with the smaller one. And I think we're going to have to go with the smaller one because we already hit a stop there. Remember, you don't want to force the servos, especially these small ones. They break too easily on you. So you just want to give it a couple turns, make sure it works or not. In this case, we use the smaller screw that's in the pack to connect this, and that worked just fine. I'm going to put back these pieces here just in case we need them later, but for now we don't need them. So we're done with that portion. The next step is we're going to be installing this plate right here and using screw C, and we're going to be mounting it to the actual servo, and it's basically saying do it sideways. So which one is screw C? I'm going to have to guess that it's the ones that we used from before. One thing I'm going to be just kind of reiterate here to everybody watching these demonstrations is that you got to make sure that you feel confident working with these types of kits. This is a fairly complicated kit. I would not recommend it for your first one. However, if you're up for the challenge, I do recommend it. Everyone's different. Just make sure you have all the tools and you're ready to take it on. So we've mounted 2 of the 4 screws that we have to mount to this. Now make sure you don't screw it in too much because it's going to have to go, let's see, actually I think we mounted the wrong screw on one of these. It's a bit too long. but I'll unscrew that one in a moment to give me a chance to screw all of these in. Now you don't necessarily have to mount all four, but history serves me, experience shows me that it's better to screw in more than less. You'll save yourself time and energy, and believe it or not, moving around a lot, these little things do get loose easily, so especially the smaller screws and the smaller components. There we go. So give it a quick turn, make sure everything's okay. And it looks good. That looks like it's going to be used for our object detection. So the next step is we're going to actually take and we're going to mount the sonar. So let's go back to one of these pieces here. Sonar A. So sonar A was still in this plastic wrap. And we're going to get this sucker out. Now here's the sonar. It looks a lot like the ping sensors from Parallax. Wouldn't doubt if it's a replica or something close to it. But this one says Innovati on it, so these work pretty well. Put this aside. It looks like we have additional components in here. We have the cable. Alright. So how are we going to mount this? Now that's the next step here, so let's see what we're going to do. Looks like we're going to need two plastic standoffs. We're going to need the sonar mount, which is right there, and screw D. Screw D looks like, let's see, we're going to need two nuts here. Got the two nuts. Screw D. So let's scroll back. That's what screw D was. Okay, screw D looks like these right here. I'm not sure if we're going to need four or not, but that's the screw D. Looks like we're only going to need two. So the way it's going to work is that we're going to go ahead and mount these standoffs to the plastic shield, or the sonar mount or base, however you want to call it, and just kind of lightly screw in the nuts. I'm hand tightening them right now. Unlike everything else, I'll go back in later with my pliers and give them a quick turn. Now with plastic standoffs, be careful. They break easy. You don't want to tighten it too much. If you tighten it too much, you will break the screw that's on the standoff, and the thread will be stripped, and you're left without standoffs. Now, if you ever do get into that situation, what we found works really well is get a hot glue gun. Now, we haven't actually glued it to plastic, plastic, but you can do it. Do not use crazy glue; it melts everything. It takes too long sometimes. Don't use the crazy glue tabs. Gorilla Glue works fine, but you're gonna have to sit there for a while and hold it. Our suggestion is maybe use hot glue and just get it glued in there.